Hari Om children, from 29th of September to the 14th of October of this month is the period of Shraddh Paksh. Therefore, today's focus is going to be on Shraddh Karm, the act that we perform for our ancestors with much reverence is called Shraddh. By performing Shraddh, the ancestors provide blessings of longevity, offspring, wealth, knowledge, power, worldly happiness, heaven, and liberation. Each person carries a debt for the gods, ancestors, and sages. Through the act of Shraddh, one is liberated from the debt to the ancestors. By offering a portion of the sacrificial offering to the deities, one is liberated from the debt to the gods. And by incorporating the thoughts and ideals of sages and saints into one's life, propagating their teachings, and conducting oneself with respect, one is liberated from the debt to the sages. For those who have worked tirelessly throughout their lives, providing you with the necessary resources and upbringing to become worthy, it is your duty to perform the Shraddh ceremony to express your gratitude, seek God's approval, and purify your heart. Lord Ram performed Shraddh ceremony for his father, King Dashrath, at Pushkar Tirth. During the offering of food to the Brahmins, Sita suddenly withdrew and concealed herself. After the Shraddh ceremony, Lord Ram asked Sita about the secret behind her disappearing during the service of offering food. Sita Maya replied, "During the Shraddh ceremony, the Brahmins invoked my father-in-law through mantras, and he entered the Brahmin's body subtly. How could I serve food openly in front of my father-in-law? And that's why I hid." If pure Brahmins are engaged to perform the Shraddh ritual according to proper customs, it reaches the ancestors in heaven. Children, during the Shraddh period, perform the Shraddh ritual for your ancestors. Support your father and elder brothers who conduct Shraddh ceremony at your home. Now let's begin today's Bal Sanskar class by remembering Pujya Bapuji. Firstly, all the children will stand in their respective places and jump a little on their tippy toes. All the children will chant Om.
Hari Om.
Children, now we will do TRATAK. TRATAK increases our concentration and memory power.
In Indian culture, various rituals are prescribed to elevate human life. One of them is the ritual of Shraddh, which is performed after death to ensure the departed soul's spiritual progress and well-being. Children, through the act of Shraddh, the sentiment is expressed that our ancestors or Pitragans who were once member of our family and have now passed away will have a better next life. The significance of Shraddh ritual is described in several Puranas and scriptures. In the Garuda Puran 10.57.59, it is written, performing Shraddh ritual at the appropriate time ensures that no one in the family remains unhappy. By worshipping the ancestors, Pitra, a person obtains longevity, sons, fame, heaven, glory, nourishment, strength, prosperity, beauty, livestock, happiness, and wealth. Therefore, one should definitely perform Shraddh rituals. Those who do not perform these rituals do not ensure the spiritual progress of their ancestors, and they have to endure great suffering in their own lives. In today's story, you will learn how faith, determination, and spiritual power of Saint EKNATH Maharaj had a profound impact on the Shraddh ceremony, where the ancestors became manifest. This was the same EKNATH Maharaj who, from a young age, displayed exceptional intelligence and through the grace of his Guru, Sri Janardhan Swami, acquired knowledge of scriptures, such as the Ramayana, Mahabharata, and the Purans in a short time. He was not only a prolific poet but also a philosopher and a great social reformer. In honor of Sant EKNATH, India issued a postage stamp in 2003. Once Saint EKNATH Maharaj was performing a Shraddh ceremony at his place. They were preparing delicious dishes like kheer, puri, and sweet. Some beggars passed by their home and were enticed by the delightful aroma. They started discussing amongst themselves, "Today is the Shraddh ceremony. There will be some delicious food prepared." Another beggar with a dejected expression said, "This feast will first be served to Brahmins. We'll probably end up with leftover scraps, if anything at all." EKNATH Maharaj heard all this and then said to his wife Girja Bai, "We feed Brahmins heartily on many occasions, but even among these beggars, there must be the supreme Brahman. They have probably never had a proper delicious meal. So why don't we serve them first today? You can prepare another meal for the Brahmins later. There's still time." Girja Bhai replied, Yes, my dear husband, you don't hesitate." She began to think that there might be something lacking in her services, that her husband hesitated to ask her to serve Brahmins first. If an owner hesitates to have a task carried out by a servant, it indicates that there might be a lack of dedication. Just as someone can work with their own hands and feet without hesitation and with peace of mind. Similarly, if an owner starts working with his servant without any worries and with peace of mind, then understand that servant has achieved the ultimate goal of his service. EKNATH Maharaj said, "All right, let's serve them first today." The couple who saw God among those beggars fed them a hearty meal. Afterward, Girja Bai resumed cooking. It was only 10 o'clock in the morning, but the news spread throughout the village. The meal that was originally prepared for Brahmins has been served to beggars, and Girja Bai is cooking again. The people began to argue and get agitated who were fractious Brahmins. They provoked the people by saying, "This is a grave insult to the Brahmins. The food prepared for Shraddh was fed to such beggars who do not bathe, wear dirty clothes, have body odor, and will food be prepared for us now?" Meaning, Will they eat the liars? First they eat, then we eat. Now we will take revenge for this insult. So at that very moment, an emergency meeting of Brahmins was called. The entire village stood on one side, and it was decided that no one will go to Eknath Ji's place for the Shraddh ceremony. No one will go to eat food so that their ancestors will go to hell and their family too gets destroyed. Two Brahman youths with sticks were made to stand at the door of Eknath Ji's house and did not allow any Brahman to enter. Here, Girja Bai prepared the food. Eknath Ji saw that these two young men with sticks were not going to let anyone come. So what should be done now? He thought for some time, and those Brahmins who did not want to come to his house, their father, grandfather and great-grandfather etc., who had died within 1 or 2 generations. Eknath Ji Maharaj used his willpower and power of yoga and appealed to them. All of them appeared, and they asked Eknath Ji Maharaj, "What is your order for us?" Eknath Ji spoke respectfully. "Sit down, Brahman Dev. You all are Brahmins of this village. Please accept my request to have food at my place today." That line of ancestors of Brahmins of the village sat down to eat happily. Eknath Ji's courtyard echoed with the verses sung on hand, washing, achman, etc. The two Brahmins who were standing outside with sticks were startled after hearing the sound. He thought, "We did not allow any Brahman to go inside." Then they looked inside through the crack of the door and were stunned. There was a long line of Brahmins inside. The food was being eaten, and when they looked carefully, they realized, "Hey, what is this? This is my grandfather. He is my maternal grandfather. He is his great-grandfather." Both of them quickly ran to inform the Brahmins of the village and said, "Our and your father, grandfather, great-grandfather, maternal grandfather, uncle, etc. have all come here from the ancestral world. Everyone is getting food in the Shraddh ritual in the courtyard of Eknath Ji." Hearing this, everyone in the village was shocked and came running to Eknath Ji's house. By then, all the ancestors were leaving after completing their meal. Eknath Ji was bidding farewell to them. All the Brahmins of the village were extremely shocked. They all felt very ashamed about their decision. At last, the Brahmins of the village folded their hands humbly in front of Eknath Ji and said, "Maharaj, we did not recognize you. Please forgive us." Thus, after mutual decision, an agreement was reached between the Brahmins of the village and Eknath Ji. So children, let us learn from this story that we must perform Shraddh rituals, and secondly, with the power of determination, we can remove the stars and planets from their place if needed. By invoking Eknath Ji, the ancestors can appear, and those ancestors can also be offered food after consecrating them in physical body.
Glory of Indian culture. The significance of ancestral rituals in Indian culture. One significant aspect of Indian culture is that while it imparts ways to uplift a person through various rituals during their lifetime, it also describes the appropriate rituals to be performed after death for the soul's well-being. Through the path of Pitryan, the departing soul travels from the realm of ancestors to the lunar world. In the celestial world, the soul nourishes itself by partaking in the Amrit, nectar of immortality. This nectar diminishes gradually with the waning of the moon during the Krishna Paksh, the dark fortnight of the lunar month. Therefore, during the Krishna Paksh, it is essential to provide sustenance to one's ancestors, which is why the tradition of Shraddh and Pindadan, offering food to the ancestors, was established. Scriptures dictate that performing Pitru Tarpan, offering to ancestors, on the new moon day Amavasya is obligatory. Modern thought and atheism may raise questions like how can the food offered in Shraddh reach our ancestors? It can be likened to how currencies like the Indian rupee can be exchanged for the US dollar in the US or the pound in London, and then the dollar can further be exchanged for the yen in Japan or the dinar in Dubai. If the governments of these tiny human-created entities can facilitate such currency conversions, why should it be surprising that all the powerful cosmic government can transform the offerings made in Shraddh into something suitable for the ancestors? Imagine if your father passed away, where would the Shraddh performed for him go? Just as when you send money through a money transfer device and service, it eventually reaches the recipient. Shraddh performed on behalf of your ancestors returns to you with specific benefits. In Hinduism, a person serves their living parents, and even after their demise, they continue to nurture the feeling of their parents' well-being and strive to fulfill any unfulfilled auspicious deeds. The Shraddh Vidhi, ritual of offering, is based on this sentiment. Knowledge competition. Competition time. And now it's time for knowledge competition. You will be asked a question with 4 options. You must provide the correct answer within 10 seconds. The question is, in what way did Karan neglect a specific type of donation which led him to return to earth to fulfill it after his death? The options are land donation, food donation, cow donation, and gold donation. The correct answer to the question will be revealed to you at the end of the session. Questionnaire. What are the consequences of not performing Shraddh rituals? According to the Garud Puran, those who hear the Shraddh rituals but do so with disbelief fall into a deep hell surrounded by darkness, becoming atheists. Sons who bring grief to their parents or act disrespectfully towards them are born with physical disability. It is believed that those who do not perform the Shraddh rituals do not go to the realm of ancestors, Pitralok, but go to the realm of spirits, Pretlok. Just as a calf in a cowshed can locate its mother among hundreds of cows, similarly, during the Shraddh ritual, the offerings and mantras reach the specific being or soul, wherever it resides, regardless of the number of different life forms it may take. The names, lineage, and mantras offered during Shraddh reach that soul's destination, even if it is in various yonis, life forms. These offerings and Shraddh satisfy them. Lord Brahma himself has established the tradition of such Shraddh rituals. On the day of Amavasya, new moon, the spirits of the ancestors stand at the doorstep of the house in a subtle form, yearning for Shraddh offerings. They remain there until sunset, tormented by hunger and thirst. After the sunset, disappointed and with heavy hearts, they leave for their respective realms. Therefore, performing Shraddh on Amavasya is crucial. If the sons and relatives perform the Shraddh and engage in acts of charity and pilgrimage on behalf of their departed ancestors, they gain the right to reside with them in the realm of Brahma. They never experience hunger or thirst and are always content. Hence, it is a duty of a knowledgeable person to perform the Shraddh rituals diligently and according to tradition. Today's activity is the Sudoku puzzle. In the puzzle, there are 9 by 9 grid divided into 3 by 3 boxes. Some cells in the grid are already filled with numbers. Your task is to fill in the remaining empty cells with numbers from 1 to 9 in such a way that no number is repeated in any row or column. And also there are no duplicate numbers within any of the 3x3 boxes. Let's see who can solve it correctly and fastest. Health tips. How to maintain health during the autumn season. Children, it is currently the autumn season and it is said that Roganam Shardi Mata, which means that autumn is the mother of diseases. During this season, it is essential to pay special attention to your diet and lifestyle. In this season, it is recommended to consume kheer, a rice pudding-like dessert. When goddess Sita was in Ashok Vatika, she did not eat the food sent by Ravan, so Lord Indra would send her kheer, which she would consume. Kheer is referred to as the king of flavors in meal. During this season, foods like milk, ghee, rice, bottle gourd, ash gourd, raisins, grapes, rose preserved gulkan, bitter gourd and nave leaves contribute to maintaining good health. Sour, salty, spicy, heavy to digest foods, fried items, pickles, eating late at night and sleeping late at night are detrimental to health during this season because autumn is the mother of diseases. Any minor ailment can aggravate during the season. Having fresh air in the morning is the key to well-being and happiness. When the sun's rays have not yet appeared and the moon's rays have subsided, the environment is filled with sattva, purity. During this time, there is an abundance of ozone in the atmosphere and the environment is more conducive to health. Homework. On the day of Pitru Paksh Amavasya, a collective ancestral ritual is performed in the nearby ashram. At your home, instruct all the elders to participate in the collective ancestral ritual at the ashram for the spiritual well-being of our ancestors. For the children during the entire Pitru Paksh period. Questionnaire. Get ready for the quiz. What is Shraddh referred to as? What kind of debts does each individual owe? Why did the Brahmins in the story get upset with EKNATH ji? What did EKNATH ji do when the Brahmins didn't come for the meal when they were upset? What lesson do we learn from today's story? What should one do and avoid during the Pitru Paksh? What significance does the ritual of Shraddh hold in Indian culture? What are the consequences of not performing the Shraddh ritual? How should one ensure health safety during the Shraddh season?
Om Astoma Sadgamaya Tansoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritam Gamaya Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi.
O Lord, lead us from falsehood to truth, from darkness to light, from mortality to immortality. Narayan, 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 Narayan. With this, today's Bal Sanskar class session ends. We will meet again next week with a new knowledge enhancing topic. Until then, Hari Om. The correct answer to the knowledge competition question is B. Karna had indeed given away wealth, but he had neglected food donation. So after his death, he received plenty of wealth, but he did not receive any food supplies to satisfy his hunger. Karna prayed to Lord Yam, and Lord Yam allowed him to return to earth for 15 days. Upon returning to earth, Karna first performed food donations, fed saints, the poor, and Brahmins with food and water, and also performed the Shraddh ceremony. When he returned to the celestial realm, he was provided with various types of food supplies as rewards.